Ruth, if you do not clip this in, I'm gonna be mad. Are we still recording? Is she still there? Okay.
Welcome back, BVB Army. Welcome back to our channel, BVB Army Hearts to Hearts. I am Ruth.
And I'm Nicole.
I know it's been a while. She's alive, guys. Nicole is alive.
I am finally COVID free. Yay! Only had it for like nearly 2 weeks. Hi. Thank you though for allowing me to take a week off. It was bad.
Struggling, guys. She was struggling.
It was like having vertigo. That's all I can say. It sucked.
Yep, but she is well recovered for the most part, I hope.
Yes, I'm like fully 100%. The only thing I have is a sinus headache that will not leave me alone, but apparently that's very common after COVID, so
See, I wouldn't know. I've never gotten COVID.
I know. I managed to go 5 years without getting this shit, and now I got it. I don't wish it on anyone.
I don't want it. And honestly, I'm surprised I haven't gotten it because I work in a petri dish.
Okay, I've was thinking that same thing with you. With like, has any kid come in with COVID at all?
Not that I'm
Thought
aware of.
ugh, maybe you're a carrier and you don't know it.
Oh my God, don't say that.
I'm sorry, that was
We just
terrible.
had a fifth grader girl who just had chicken pox and stuff, and it was spreading. So yeah, it was yeah.
Have you ever gotten chickenpox?
Nope.
Me either.
But yes, we are finally back. Thank you guys for having that week off. We missed you guys, but we are back here and stuff with a brand new episode for today and stuff. So let's get into it.
Wait, I want everyone to just take a guess. Look at Ruth's makeup and take a guess what we are discussing.
I'm surprised you don't have a vampire look right now.
Okay. Hear me out on this. I love you and I'm so sorry. I've never been big on vampires. I know. I know. She's like, we're ending this.
Okay, so you and Ryan, I have to murder now. Okay.
You want my neck? I'll take the choker off for you.
You're like
Bite me.
the like Lady Gaga in American Horror Story with her ring, slit your throat with her nail.
Yeah, with that ring, you really could.
Okay, I'm gonna roast her, guys. Okay, we're gonna go into it and stuff, and like I have my share experience with my partner Ryan because we were talking about it last night because I was kind of talking about this book and everything. But yes, hi. If you haven't guessed, we are finally going to discuss Andy's new book called The First Vampire from Rare Bird, book publisher, and what's it? Knives and Pens.
Knives and Pens Publishing.
Yep, Knives and Pens Publishing right here. And yes, for anyone who's watching or listening, spoiler alert. We are going to discuss the plot and the characters and stuff from this book, so spoiler alert. We know that some fans are still getting theirs and stuff. We just don't know if everyone has read it yet, but spoiler alert. Last chance,
Yeah.
guys. Spoiler alert.
Don't click on this episode if you do not have the book or have not read it. I'm excited though. I can't lie, even though I'm not big on
Why?
vampires
Okay, I'm
or
sorry. I have to
vampirism.
why?
Okay. If I'm gonna be 100% honest, I think
Dracula.
so. I do genuinely enjoy like the idea of like Dracula and Nosferatu and all of that. I
What
know,
else
I
for
know.
off too?
I love the very like gothic twist on it. What really ruined it for me was Twilight. I absolutely, when Twilight came out, I'm gonna tell people, I'm gonna just expose myself. I've never in my entire life have watched a single Twilight movie ever. I've obviously have seen clips and trailers and I just thought it was the most stupidest and ridiculous thing. And like if we're gonna go off vampire movies, I love The Lost Boys, I love Nosferatu and all of that. So I do love those. I like those kind of vampires. And then this, I like this kind of vampire. But Twilight genuinely ruined it for me. So every time I think vampirism, I do think Twilight, and that's why I get bothered.
Don't let. I'm gonna. Sorry, I'm like. I went on a attack on Ryan last night. We could talk about Twilight. He likes Twilight, by the way.
I will help you choke Ryan out.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I can't believe he likes Twilight.
We were discussing it. He's like, I told him flat out, like, I love vampires. I have been love vampires as long as I probably since middle school or something.
Mhm.
And I don't talk about Twilight. Like, we don't talk about Bruno. I don't talk about Twilight. Twilight is out of the vampiric world. Vampires do not sparkle. I'm sorry for anyone who likes Twilight. I'm sorry. It's just no. I cannot with Twilight. I will admit, I did give it a shot. I gave it a chance. I did watch the first movie, regretted it. I tried to read the book, read the first chapter, tossed it.
You did more than me.
I really did try, but I just can't do that vampiric
Yeah.
stuff. I can't. But if we're going to talk about vampires, Interview with the Vampire by Anne
Oh,
Rice. Beautiful book, amazing book, good movie too, I would say. The first book I read was called Vampire Kisses, and I was like in middle school and stuff. So, but it was a romantic, like better than Twilight, I will say.
yeah.
So, and then there was Circuit the Freak. For anyone who knows those books, those are amazing books too. I read in my freshman year in college,
Wait, what
high
was it?
school. Circuit the Freak.
Oh, okay. Have not heard of that.
I like this concept. They did make a movie butchered it badly.
Ooh.
Daybreakers, that movie, love that movie, Daybreakers. I love it. It was about vampires. It has William Dafoe, Ethan, I forgot his last name, but it's a really cool concept and how the world would look like if everyone was a vampire and stuff and humans and oh my God, it was amazing. I love it. Obviously, Dracula, we cannot forget the iconic Dracula. I mean, come on, it's Dracula.
Yeah, I mean, for real.
Like, I live vampires. I love vampires. I love the whole concept about vampires. They do not sparkle. Okay, sorry.
Well, okay, since you are really huge into vampires and you've seen a lot of movies, and you've read a lot of books, out of curiosity, are you a fan of the animated Castlevania?
Not seen it, so I don't know. I've heard of it. I just haven't seen
Okay.
it. I did watch the anime. Oh, Van Helsing, another.
Oh, Van Helsing, Chef's Kiss. Love
Just
that.
his Van Helsing. I love that
Mm.
movie. That movie was amazing. I love the whole concept of Van Helsing. I know there's an anime series called something with Van Helsing too, which is pretty good. So I did watch a couple episodes. I think I could be wrong, but I live vampires. I fantasize about vampires. If I could pick any mythical creature, I would be a vampire. I mean, Nicole knows this because we play D&D with Hudson and our partners and stuff, and we did like the superhero thing, and I chose Nocturna, a bat superhero. Hello.
Well, and it makes sense because you also love bats, so
Obviously, when this was announced, when the first vampire book was coming, I was really intrigued to see what take Andy was going to go with vampires because there are so many vampire books out there as it is. We got the classics, like I said, Interview with the Vampire, Dracula, etc., Nosferatu. There's a lot. So I was very curious in which direction he was going to go with this because I'm like, there's a lot. There's a lot out there already. So.
yeah, I actually love the gothic twist that he does on this book. It was not at all what I was expecting it to be, and that just made it a million times better, in my opinion.
I really appreciate the different direction approach he took with this. Obviously, with the iconic story, sorry, that most of us know of Dracula and stuff, but the perspective that he did with this book, with the characters, which we'll dive in, I was like, I really enjoyed this because yes, we know, most of us know all like the facts already about Dracula and vampires and stuff and like Transylvania and everything, but like he went into more detail and obviously he did his research, of course, and everything. But I just really enjoyed it, like how the perspective he took and also the perspective of every chapter because you think, oh, we're just going to get one perspective of one character. No, he goes back and forth with it, which I found
Mhm.
really interesting and stuff. So I love it. I love the whole fact of like the plot, the plot twist, and also the ending. It like lives you in a cliffhanger. So
Exactly, which makes me wonder if we are going to get a second book series of it. And I one of the interesting things about the first vampire is I love that it has to do through the whole story is like dealing through the eyes of Dracula's eldest son, Andre.
Andre, I hope we're
And
pronouncing that right.
I know
I'm sorry. I saw Andre. So if
I
we're
say
mispronouncing that, we apologize. For any names we're butchering or cities or big words, Andy, you use a lot of big words in this.
thank you. I was reading and then and then I'd be rereading that word. I'm like, am I saying that right? Oh my God.
I guess let's start off. So in this story, we come across the eldest son, like Nicole said, of his name is Andre, who is the son of like basically Val Drac. It's not Dracula, but like basically it is. So
Yeah. Yeah, he's the eldest son of two. The others are like what, Minia? I have it here.
our guess is as good as mine. Andy, very good job with the names. I don't want to butcher them though.
I'm gonna butcher them, man. Brothers are Minia, Selra, and Mercia. Those totally those up.
Yeah, so we have three brothers. We have father, Val, Dracula, and then the mom Isabella and stuff. And then we kind of get told of like different points of perspective of the eldest son Andre and stuff, which I found really cool. And then obviously what's going on in the kingdom and stuff. So
The kingdom of Wallachia.
Wallachia.
And
Because they
I
have rivals with the Ottomans, right? I think that's
yes.
yes.
And I can't lie. When I was halfway through reading this, I just got really curious to know if there were like, because obviously Vlad the Impaler is Vlad Dracula, and I just started to think, okay, is Andy using like, is there a lot of true historical facts in here? So I had to do some Googling. Apparently it's very fictional, you guys, but Vlad the Impaler is real.
No, well, Wallachia is another real place
Yes.
too. All those are real, like real places, obviously
Yeah.
Transylvania and stuff.
He
Those are real.
he actually did take some historical like facts and he did put those in the book. So it's really kind of cool because he intermixed fictional with uh facts.
Hmm.
It worked.
Hmm.
Should say historical
Yeah.
facts, sorry.
And I just loved it all. And then what was interesting was we got introduced to every character, like Val, Dracula, Isabella, the brothers, Andre, and stuff. And just from reading and stuff from other books and stuff, the eldest son of the king is usually right by his father's side. This one is not.
No, this one prefers to be by his mother doing magic and incantations,
And not with his father going into war with like his other two brothers.
which obviously upsets his father, Dracula.
I try not to jump ahead, but
I know.
Andre has a different point of view and perspective in life on the kingdom and stuff compared to his dad. Obviously, he respects his dad and his mom, but he just prefers just going to his mom and working with his mom for these protection spells when the father and his army goes into the battlefields.
Which the protection spells have always kept them safe, and his father is very much aware of that, which is why he doesn't press too hard on the fact that his eldest son should be sitting right beside him at the table and in battle beside him. But I think it's safe to say that Andre is considered a very like sensitive soul in this realm.
Oh, 100%. When I was reading it, it reminded me of a childhood book, Fertile
Fertile.
story about a bull, remember? And he's like,
Yeah, yeah, I
he's
know.
always
There's a movie of
smelling,
it.
he's always smelling flowers or something, while his other friends are like doing the like, what
Yeah.
bulls do. So it reminded me of that, but I was like, oh, so wait, oh my God, what the name of the book is? I'm gonna find it now. It's just called The Story of Fertile. Yeah, so it's just about the story of a bull and stuff. This one.
Yes. I know what you're talking
Where he's
about.
always smelling flowers while the rest of his like bulls are like training to be like in a and stuff
Yes.
and they also and it also I know it was not really any connection, but it just reminded me of like because they also have you seen the movie The Blind Side with Sandra Bullock?
No.
It's about a football player and like how he just
Oh, sorry. Yep, I've seen that.
yeah, and about how the football player is like he's like Fertile, just like that. So that's why when I read about Andre and like him like going with his mom in nature and like doing these spells and casting these resections and protection spells and stuff, I'm like, oh, he's like Ferdinand.
Oh, that's a great way to look at it.
I don't know, Mandy, if that's what you're going for, but I made
I
that
know.
connection.
But that's the best part about reading books is that we can all interpret like it's like books of music, everyone interprets it differently.
So I guess let's talk about the plot of the story because I think I was going into this book like automatically they are vampires immediately because the first vampire.
Yeah.
They're all human in the beginning of the story, guys. They're all human.
Yes, and they're all human except they're the I guess the one thing that, the mom's
Yeah.
technically I don't want to say she's considered a witch, but she's like
A
witch.
medium, I want to say, but like,
Yeah, she's
yeah,
really
I know
good
what
at
you mean, though.
casting.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's good at casting spells and incantation. They have this like rivalries with the this other empire, I guess you could say, called the Ottoman, because the Ottoman wants to wants Wallachia to pay an infernal tax, and Wallachia refuses.
Yeah. And so with that, that creates a big issue in the kingdoms, and so war.
That's all. I know. War
War.
back then, it was always, okay, let's fight war.
Let's fight. So yeah, so like obviously we get discussions about that, the war in Texas, and there's a scene where we there's Isabella, the mom of Andre's mom, and then Dracula, and they're talking about and how, we said this like Dracula is impressed has expressed like how he wants his eldest son to be with him on the ground and stuff, but he, like he understands why the mother's like he has a different gentle soul compared to you and stuff, but he's still your older, he's still your son though, so he still loves you.
Yeah, it is kind of one of those. That's where the mom and the father separate because the father wants him in battle, but the mother does believe he's truly meant to be doing the
Mhm.
magic spells with her in the forest.
But, things happen, things were said, and Andre does go into the battle with his father.
Yep, he did not have a choice in that matter, and it relatively happened super quickly. He was basically told the night before the battle, "You're going."
You're going,
He
period.
did.
Yep,
But they did. But I do think the night before, though, him and his mom did do another magic
they
spell
did.
to pretty much blindside the Ottomans.
They did. And so everyone's arming up, getting their armors, weapons and stuff, going into the field, and then that's where things go for a twist.
Oh yeah, things go south as they're on this mountain trail. They were basically the Wallachia Empire was ambushed by the Ottomans,
Mhm.
not even expecting it.
Obviously, with that, with the ambush, they were off guard. So, like, people were like, what? WTF? The father was here. Andre was trying like to be with the father, but then they're ambushed. So everyone's like everywhere. And I know Andre kind of lost, like, I know he did fall into a cave.
Yeah, because it's a mount. So it's a mountain trail. I guess we weren't realized specific. The mountain trail. Anyone that has ever like traveled to the mountains, I guess you know how scary it is when there's no rail
Yes,
and
I
you can
have
just
been on
lean
hikes.
off the
Yes.
cliff. Yeah, that's what they were
And
all
also, he was
on.
on a horse too, by the way, guys.
Yes, and yeah, he fell over with
He
the
fell
horse.
over, unfortunately. Poor horsey, too.
No, I feel bad because the horse pretty much broke his fall, but the horse wasn't so lucky, and I wanted to cry. And I want to also point out, I love how gruesome this book is. It's
It was,
very detailed and grotesque. I love it.
and so Andre falls into this cave and stuff that, it's a cave, it's a cave. God knows how long that cave has been there. And with that fall and stuff, he awoken something.
Yes. Well, and before when he did fall in that cave, or when he went into the cave, the one thing too leading up to that is he also ran away from the battle. Like instead of
Yeah, he kind
helping
of
his
did
fellow soldiers
retreat.
and his father, he ran.
I
And
do
he knew
remember,
what he was doing was wrong.
yeah, and like I do remember, like there was like one of his army soldiers like asking to help him, but pretty much he was pretty much a goner. And like I know Andre like felt bad to leave him and stuff, but then then he fell into the cave.
The cave that's filled, with certain vampiric things. Bats! He awoken thousands and thousands of bats.
They never said what bat, which I'm kind of sad because Andy, I wanted to know what bats. So,
Yeah. Oh, I know that's true because there's so many different
there's so many different types of bats, but I'm sure it was like one of like the whatever.
All we know is it's a vampire
It's
bat.
a vampire bat. So all these bats like awoken and stuff, saw Andre and stuff, and have you ever seen bats fly before, Nicole? Ever, ever?
So, yes, actually, where Hudson and I live, during the summertime, there are bats that swoop down. I've never gotten to see that in particular, but in our old apartment, we had a bat that actually lived right above our door in the corner. I didn't know if it was a fruit bat, so I would always leave it fruit just in case, but I did get to see it fly away.
But have you ever seen a group of
I've
bats?
never seen a group, have you?
So I have, and
In
it's
person? Jealous.
so as you guys know, I grew up in El Paso, Texas, and so we're really right next to New Mexico. Like it's like 30 trips. And so there is a national park over there in New Mexico called Carlsbad Caverns. And it's a park you can go. It's a beautiful cave. It's gorgeous. I love it. But at nighttime, if you're lucky enough, depending on the day, the park rangers say, watch the bats fly out. So you come in and sit down in this big opening of this cave, and they play like the static sound that echoes in this cave. And then all of a sudden, you see all these bats fly out, and it's a cool, it's like, they're bats, but they kind of look like birds, but all the flutters and the sounds they make are, oh, so I think it's cute.
I bet that's got to be like an amazing experience. And the sound, I bet the sound is
I
so
can't even
cool.
describe the sound. It's like you can hear the flatters, but you can also hear their almost squeak sounds too, I guess that you could say.
Yeah.
But like it's like in the movie and like how the book described it, it's like a cloud of like bats just coming out and like it's like a group of fish basically, just
A
bats.
group. Oh yeah, think
School
Finding
of
Nemo,
fish.
all
Yeah.
those fish.
Yeah. Little school of fish, but just bats. And they literally cluster in a cloud like that and like fly off. So when in the book described of these bats coming out, obviously I've seen it, so like I know what it looks like. And so when these bats came out, obviously Andre was attacked and bitten by these bats. But when the bats also came out of the cave, Val Dracula saw it and he's like, "What is that?" So
And all those bats came towards the battle and just started attacking both Ottoman side and the Wallachia
any
side.
human being that was there, the bats attacked.
Huh, yes, they every single no one got away. No
No
one got
one.
away.
No
Mm-mm.
one.
They were just like ripping their flesh, cutting into them. It was very, very detailed.
It was very detailed. Like Val Dracula saw it and he's like, "We need to escape." Any leftover soldiers saw them too. They tried. Obviously, the bats were fast. The bats got them.
Yeah, but I think that's when he called the battle and he sent his men to go back home, just like the
Retreat.
Ottomans. Yeah, the
Retreat.
Ottomans did the
They
same.
retreated because they saw
There
it
were
and
too
they're like,
many.
they couldn't. So
The book literally described it as thousands of bats.
wow. I've seen a cluster, but the book said thousands. And I'm like, that's it makes me think, of those like sandstorms we've seen in movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Imagine that with just bats.
It's like a bat tornado.
That honestly, if I saw that like thousands of bats do that, I would be scared because the ones I've seen was just maybe at least maybe 50, 80 bats.
I know when you think about it and you think, oh, it can't be that bad, but then just imagine like thousands of bats. Even if you do this, like you don't think about their wings and their claws cutting you up
They have
as they fly
claws.
by you.
These vampiric bats have teeth too. So like they're
Mhm.
even though they can be small, if they're clustered, yeah.
They both sides retreated and they went back home but now not Andre though. Andre actually I think pretty much stayed almost not even the night in the cave, but he eventually was able to crawl out from the cave all wounded, but was it a night he spent in the cave? Yeah.
I spend the night there. Like,
I was about
because
to
the
say
bats
it's pretty much
attacked,
the
he kind
night.
of like fainted and passed out. And then he finally woken up and realized he was still stuck in this cave. And so he managed to get out. But, all the wounds were there. But then he kind of felt a bit weird because, the bats bit him, not knowing what the bats had in them. So,
Exactly. And he had all these cuts and wounds from the bats, but as he escaped the cave and was going through the forest he was heading back home to Wallachia, he realized that his wounds were starting to actually heal really quickly and he was starting to feel just I guess when it's like when you get over being sick and you finally feel 100% again, like you have that strong energy back and you're like unstoppable. That's pretty much how he was feeling because you're bitten by vampire bats. He's slowly just getting stronger.
and when he walked out, obviously he saw the aftermath of what the bats did and the ambush did. I'm sure there was a bloodbath everywhere and
Oh, of
everything.
course.
And then what got to me was when he was heading back, he came across, was it a farmer?
I think it was like just a lone hunter
A lone hunter, human and stuff, but then all of a sudden, obviously, he's bitten by these bats, not knowing, but he just got this, how do I say it? This
craving.
craving thirst for blood. And he
Hmm.
couldn't control it. All of a sudden, he just had this hankering, this dying thirst and stuff, not knowing what the fuck was wrong with him. And then he attacked the hunter for the blood, straight on the neck.
Sucked him dry and then ate the hunter's squirrels because the hunter caught some squirrels and then he just ate those too.
What like and then he like it was almost like he was not there. Like his soul was not there. Like he just
Mhm.
caved into this thirst of blood and basically murdered this hunter.
Yeah, something else completely took over him, and that continues on. And when he gets to Wallachia, but I mean, even before he gets to Wallachia, every one of those soldiers were starting to feel that same need of hunger for blood.
Same hunger, and unfortunately, the bats did get Val Dracula.
And the little fun fact about this too is that apparently this is was called the blood sickness or the blood plague back in 1476.
Love that.
I know. I thought, okay, I was like, that's a little interesting fact there.
What I liked is when Andre's heading back to his kingdom, and so Vlad Dracula is in his chambers and stuff, and obviously he got bit, and so everyone's who's humans attending the sick, the infected people and stuff, not knowing what's going on and stuff, and so there's Val Dracula in his chambers, and he's trying to heal and stuff, but then again, he gets this thirst, this hankering for blood, but again, he has no idea what the is wrong with him, and so I remember a nurse came in to help him with his wounds and stuff or food. I can't remember exactly. And then all of a sudden, just like Andre, this thirst got to him and basically ripped up this nurse and murdered her. Damn brutal in his chambers.
Once again, he couldn't control it. I mean, this blood plague makes you not only hungry for blood, but it also makes you like sleep for like
It
two
makes you
days
sleep
straight.
a lot. And also just the outburst of almost like anger too is there too when they
Yeah,
don't
and you
have
get
the
like a
blood.
fever and,
Mhm.
and like you get delirious and all that.
And so when Andre comes home, obviously Isabella, the mom, is relieved he's home, but then she explains what's happening and she tells Andre, like, I believe your father has his sickness too. So, and that's
Once they
when they walk in and see the nurse decapitated, like murder brutally in his chambers.
unfortunately just completely dead, yes. They take most of the soldiers too, and they lock them in the dungeon because they think that would be the safest bet for them to not kill anyone else. Because the thing is, once you have this sickness, you don't attack people who have the sickness. You only attack those who do not have it. So they started feasting on animals, thinking that would kind of help with the cure. Not necessarily a cure, but they thought it would help to suppress not killing humans.
AKA vampire vegetarian.
There you go. I love that.
Yeah, so yeah, they started eating and drinking like deer's blood or any type of
Yeah.
animal's blood to help
Any.
with their thirst, but obviously deep down inside, nothing beats human blood.
Yeah, that, and I think that got to the point where once they realized that animals weren't going to cut it anymore, they then decided that they were going to turn the rest of Wallachia into, without killing them though, they were going to gently turn the vampires into vampires, only because that's when Vlad realized that the Ottomans were attacked too, and he knew that they had the same sickness, which meant they had the same strength and the same power.
Yeah, and they also obviously they came to know like they couldn't kill another vampire, and also with them with this, I guess sickness, bloodshed sickness, you can say, they got powerful, and it was hard to kill besides decapitating them or what was the other thing? Heart, stake in a heart or something? I can't remember.
Stake in the heart or decapitation.
Yeah, they realized they could not do that without like bullets, swords wouldn't kill them. You had to decapitate the head or stake in the heart.
And another fun thing with this too is during that entire time, that's also when Vlad decides to step down from being king too, and he hands it over to his son Minea.
Sure.
I don't know Minea. That's hard to say.
And then he becomes Count Val Dracula.
Count Vlad Dracula.
No, and it's because they have a big meeting in some type of room and stuff about the Ottomans having the same power, and they're like, we need to do something. We need to ambush them like they ambush me because if they come, we know what they're capable of doing, and if they get us, then we're under their control. So we need to ambush them.
Andre's mom, Isabella, was not necessarily on board with the whole idea of turning the rest of Wallachia into vampires. She actually wants a cure for it. She wants to help find a cure and make a cure that can relieve everyone of this so-called curse.
And obviously, she's been trying with her magic to find a cure. And the only similarities she can find with the sickness and bats is threats for thirst for blood, and then sleeping during the daytime and being alive at night.
And it kind of ends with Andre in his bedroom, and it's almost like he split personality at that point because that obviously the vampire side is completely taking over him. At least it's trying to. He's fighting it, and
Fine.
he's fighting it, and because he's sided with his mom, he wants to also find a cure to save everyone, but that hunger
I
is just louder.
One thing that stuck with me is when I think it's chapter 14 or 15, I can't remember. While in this meeting, like here's Val, Dracula, like, let's turn every other human in
Wallachia.
Wallachia, sorry.
No, you're good.
Wallachia into a human, I mean into a vampire, and then the mom's like, but you're giving up your soul. You don't want it. They're like, he's thinking that we're gonna be God, and no one can destroy us. And the mom's like, but you're giving up your soul, you're giving your empathy, you're giving your humanity, basically. What's left of it.
And I absolutely loved that too, because that goes to show too, when you look back at like Vlad and all of his, his two sons and the fellow soldiers, they all look at it as, oh, but it's power. And that's all they care about. And that's the sad part.
It is very sad. And like it kind of ends where Andre's in his chambers. His mom does visit him and like says, I gotta find it now because it was such a good thing that she said. She says, and this is in the last chapter, page 122, it says, I'm afraid, she said, that this world will always turn its evil eye away from people that feel the way you do. Perhaps one day the kind-hearted among us will find a way to truly change things.
Which goes back to what we were saying at the kind of the beginning of this episode is we wonder if we're going to get a second series of this book. And if we do, I'm wondering if it's once again going to be through the eyes of Andre and if it's going to be him still looking for that cure or if he just caved and let the hunger completely take over.
It's uncertain because when I was reading the ending, I'm visual, so I'm trying to visualize it in my head. He's in his chambers. He can hear out his window of the people, all the soldiers of what's left, who are vampires, turning the leftover of the humans into vampires. He can hear it, and he can hear the yells and the screech. And I know he's wearing like this pendant that his mom gave him and stuff. And so he does take it off for a brief minute, and then once he does take it off, he can smell all the blood, and his thirst is like I need it, but then he quickly puts it back, and it somehow like puts the shield and numbs it in a way. So that was pretty cool.
I think that pendant is the only thing that is keeping him safe from it fully taking over him.
And I know, like, I think if there was going to be another book, I think it would continue on, like, what has happened now. Like, obviously, his father fully on embraced the vampires, maybe his brothers too. He's still struggling with. A real quick question. I know this is silly. Did we ever read that the mom got turned into a vampire, or is she still human?
See, that I was wondering when I was reading the book, because after I finished it, it sounds to me that she never got bit. Vlad never turned her. No one
Yeah,
turned her.
so
I'm
I'm
pretty
just
sure she's
wondering,
still
like,
human.
if like he made the statement, we have to turn every other one into a vampire. That includes her too. And I'm
It
wondering, like,
would.
was she against the idea, or because like if she stays human among vampires, that's gotta be rough.
Yeah, it never actually fully states in the book, so I'm wondering if it was almost just implied.
That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't 100% sure. That was like the one question I had. Like, wait, is Isabella a vampire, or is she still human? So
I'm still questioning that myself, but I think at this point she's just human still.
that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. But like, and that's how it kind of ends because the unknowing of just like they're going to battle the Ottomans, and that's it.
But that would make for such a great book series. That next book would be 100% all about the battle. And I I look forward to that. I hope there's another book because does leave us on a cliffhanger.
It does. And again, I just like this approach that Andy took because, like, again, there's so many books already about vampires. Like I mentioned, the iconic books, Dracula, Interview with a Vampire, like they all go through the basics of, like, vampire bites a human, sucks their blood and stuff. And, like, oh, it turns into them into a vampire. They don't age, they get stronger, they heal faster, they sleep at daytime, they awake at night, they do everything else at night too and stuff. And so just hearing his side and seeing, like, oh, these bats are the ones who caused it, and all the side effects of just like the thirst for blood, sleeping tremendously a lot during the day and waking up at night, realizing that those who have been infected don't attack the other infected. And so even if they're thirst for blood, nope, they don't attack them.
Andy just did an amazing job writing this book. It's one of those, once again, where, as we say in every episode, we're like, is there anything Andy can't do?
Andy,
No, there's not.
I appreciate this book very much. This is going to go next to my other vampire books, along with your other books, but this is in my top vampire books. I mean, I will admit, Andy, I'm sorry. I love Interview with a Vampire. And Rights. I'm sorry, Andy. I love it, but I also love this book too. This is such a quick read and stuff, and I love that it was such a quick read, but it was so much detail within this little book.
Thank you. Yeah, for it only being 125 pages and like what, 15 or 16 chapters,
That's 16.
you get so much. And I was a little scared at first because I thought, oh, is it going to be rushed? But no, 100% no. You get everything that you need to know, except for the cliffhanger.
Super cliffhanger. That's why, okay, I will admit, and I know a lot of people were also, I saw this on social media, when the book came to me and stuff, here I am thinking, like, it's going to be the same size of, like, his other book, We Don't Have to Understand and stuff. Pretty thick and so, because most vampire books are thick, because there's a lot. I was not expecting it to be this tiny. And I'm like, interesting, how many details or plot is going to be in this tiny. Oh, okay, I never question Andy again.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if the other books are going to be the same.
I'm
Like,
going to assume so, but I have no idea.
I don't know. All I know is, Andy, you can write. You're an amazing author, and I truly cannot wait to read the rest of the books that come out this
I
year.
know, I cannot wait to read. What is the next one, actually? Is it Bleeders? Yes, it is Bleeders.
It's Bleeders. Okay, thank you. Mine was not showing
Yeah,
up
so the
yet.
first vampire, obviously we got it and got shipped in spring 2015. Apparently we're going to get Bleeders in the summer, as you said, Revenge in the fall, and the Black Madonna in winter. So the next book is Bleeders. So maybe, because the title is Bleeders, it could be a sequel, but we don't know. So
Oh, sorry, I just didn't think about that.
Bleeders,
It could
vampires,
be.
and I'm just saying, but I don't know. It could be something completely different.
Okay, yeah, let's assume if it's not a sequel to the first vampire, then I would assume it's Andy's take on Sweeney Todd.
Because, like, I'm trying to look at the cover. The cover of Bleeders has this little boy with, like, shadowy people and stuff, and that's, what does it say? I'm like zooming and squinting in this small photo. The terrible tale of what? Something blood. I can't read that last word.
It would make sense for it to be a sequel. Maybe it could be like, obviously this was based in like the 1500s, so it's like maybe you go way into the future and this is like all the
I
how
mean, we
vampires
know
are
that
like modern
vampires
day.
live on and on and on and on. They're
Exactly.
immortal. So what if this is like Andre's family and New Yorker something in 19 something during the Sweeney Todd era? I have no idea.
And it really could be. If it's not, that's fine too. Like,
Yeah, it's fine. It was like, and we don't mind. We'll read anything, but like this vampire book is really cool.
I'm sure he's already like working on more books as we speak anyway. So,
No, but definitely, guys, if you haven't ordered this book or let alone read it, please do and ordered one. It's amazing. Such a fast read and stuff for those of us who love books and stuff. Ian, I hope you do read it within a fast read.
you guys will not be disappointed. If you also just have like a short attention span, this is like the perfect read, as Ruth said.
Dude, if they can make like a little short film, like animation for this, we'll love it.
That would be awesome.
I
The
need Black Veil Brides in the vampire era, okay? Like Creeper almost. I know Creeper has her own thing and stuff, but I just need, and I've seen so many fan art of Andy as with vampires, with fangs and stuff. I need Andy. Andy, hi Andy. I know you've done Sweeney Todd. I love Sweeney Todd. Can you just put vampire fangs and be a vampire? I would love that. I would love all the guys that have these teeth and like I BVB. If you ever do a vampire era, sploosh.
Hey, you never know. You might get that. We still don't know what this new era is going to
I can
be.
tell you
So
it's not vampires. So I'm sorry. Just like from all the hints we get, it's not vampires.
it's definitely not, but you never know.
If
You
it is
are right.
vampires,
It could come.
huh?
You will.
Respectfully, guys. Respectfully.
All right, BBB Army. Today's fan shout out actually is gonna go to the company Rare Bird themselves. For those that don't know, Rare Bird is the one that helped to publish Andy's book. Not just this book, but it was also Andy's They Don't Need to Understand book as well.
And the Edgar Allan Poe one.
And the Edgar Allan Poe one. That see, I don't have the book one version of. I have the
I know
vinyl
you
of
did.
it. Yeah, so that's but yeah. Andy has been working with Rare Bird on multiple projects, and we just think it's absolutely amazing that Rare Bird has even just given Andy the opportunity in general for this. So, Rare Bird, thank you so much. I'm going to assume that you're also a fan of Black Veil Brides anyway, so I think that kind of goes without saying. But thank you for working with Andy on the Knives and Pens publishing. We absolutely love the first Vampire. We love They Don't Need to Understand. We love the Edgar Allan Poe. We look forward to what you might possibly be doing in the future with Andy, or maybe just with any other artist in general. Everyone, go to rarebird.com and check out more of their work that they have on there. It's going to be in the description below. I can barely speak right now because I'm that excited about Rare Bird. But everyone, go to the description below, look at Rare Bird on everything they have online, and go and give them a follow on Twitter and Instagram.
All right, BVB Army. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you again for your patience, but we are finally back. Nicole has a full recovery and stuff. Get ready, guys, because BVB month is approaching here very soon. And most likely very soon, we will be posting the forms for our channel for any fans who want to sign up on our channel for BVB month. We are super excited to see old faces, new faces, and stuff on our show again for BVB month. So definitely keep an eye out on our Instagram, social medias, basically. Just keep an eye out because the forms will be coming here soon. And trust me, they get filled up pretty fast. I will say that.
Mhm. Yeah, so sorry to anyone that unfortunately, I'm sorry. We're sorry.
But we cannot wait to do that. Obviously, BVB month is coming up. I mean, Black Veil Brides, they posted the locker photo of Knives and Pens. So I know there's going to be a merch drop or something coming up there. Because why else would they post it?
I know. Thank you. Something is happening. Something is going down on June 17th. Or maybe just in June in general, but still, I'm looking forward to it.
I am looking forward to it too. So please remember, you can follow all of us on all our social media platforms, BVB Army Hearts to Hearts. Our podcast is also everywhere too. You can find all the links down in below. And with that, we will see you guys next week on the last week of May. So with that,